Hey guys, I, jeez, you know, I need to relay something to you guys. I had a little bit of a headache as of Monday, and let me tell you exactly why. The storylines of Monday Night Raw and the WWE, they've gotten really confusing as of late. 2 Mondays ago, most of the superstars walked out on Triple H, giving him a vote of no confidence. Because they think that he was behind some sort of conspiracy and everything like that. Like I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, it's not easy being a COO, and it's definitely not easy being an executive or anything like that, because it's more tougher than you think. But during his tenure, Triple H actually fired The Miz and R-Truth, which I felt was a good decision because they were really starting to get out of hand. This past Monday, I was really discombobulated because Triple H was relieved of his duties as COO. I mean, people who did not walk out on him, even though they were not technically there, were John Cena, Sheamus, and there was one other. Oh yeah, CM Punk. And CM Punk returned to color commentator, and then Triple H was a special guest referee between Sheamus and John Cena just to entertain the folks and everything like that. The superstars were outside, and they said that they would not come back to Monday Night Raw unless Triple H was not the COO anymore. And during the match, Vince McMahon came in. He's still the chairman. Don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, but because it's his company. But in the storyline, even though in real life Triple H is the son-in-law of Vince McMahon because Triple H is married to Stephanie McMahon. But in the storyline, Triple H was relieved of his duties as COO. And now, the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, John Laurinaitis, he's now the interim General Manager. That's not one of the decisions by the Board of Directors that I trust. I actually have seen John Laurinaitis in recent weeks, and he's been doing some very questionable things. And ever since he has come back, I take that back. He's actually been in the oh, excuse me, guys. I'm trying to think. Had a long trip, so please bear with me. John Laurinaitis has been part of the company for a while, and now that he's interim general manager, I don't like that decision because this is one thing I cannot believe. He fired good old JR Jim Ross. That is something I don't like because Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are the best color commentators hands down. If there was a color commentator that should have been fired, it should have been Michael Cole. Now let me tell you guys something. I have seen Michael Cole do color commentating ever since he was alongside Taz on SmackDown back when it was on Thursday nights and everything like that. But look at what's happened to him. He's become a heel in the storyline, and look at him. He's been very disrespectful. He's been disrespectful to Jerry Lawler. He's been disrespectful to many of the great wrestlers. The only people he likes are The Miz, R-Truth, and mostly the heel wrestlers. And when JR was fired, Michael Cole was just going everywhere. Michael Cole, you're not the voice of the WWE. The people are. The people should be the voice of the WWE. You may be a color commentator, you may be a 2-time Slammy Award winner, but you're not technically the voice of the WWE. And also, not only that, John Laurinaitis reinstated The Miz and R-Truth. Look at what they did in the past. Triple H had good reason to fire them. Assaulting referees, and then all of a sudden assaulting him, and then look at what happened at Hell in a Cell. They came back, they took down the wrestlers, and then right after the big triple threat match inside the cell, they came back, they took down the officials, they took down the wrestlers, they even took down the cameramen. I don't even know how the cell got back down onto the floor. in my personal opinion, they had a good reason to be fired. They had a good reason to be fired. And now that John Laurinaitis has actually come in as the interim general manager, thanks to the board of directors, this is a downward spiral, if you ask me. A really bad downward spiral because, you know, a lot of things have happened in the storylines that are just getting... And I even see some people threatening to drop their watching of the WWE and everything like that. We need to have better storylines. That's what we need. The WWE needs to have better storylines. But Michael Cole needs to drop the disrespecting, and especially what he did as JR was leaving. Michael Cole, you need to learn to respect firings. Just like, hey, it was great to have you. Not like, he's gone! Like a trumpet. That's just unreal. I don't know exactly how to explain this anymore, guys. We need to have better storylines in the WWE. Well, technically not we, but they need to have better storylines because, you know, if the storylines continue to keep going as confusing as they are, there may not be a WrestleMania 28. The WWE might go out of business. That's another reason why I do these virtual storylines on my video game, ladies and gentlemen, to see if we can have better storylines in the WWE. You know, as much as I like the WWE, as much as I like everything that's pretty much going on with it, the storylines are confusing. They're going whoop-de-doo, if you ask me. So another reason why I do the virtual storylines on the PlayStation 2 is to have better coverage for the storylines so people can understand them better. So that way the WWE might even get in on them. And actually, not too much longer after I had the virtual match of Mark Henry versus the Great Khali, they actually wrestled together a couple weeks later. What a wild coincidence. But the storylines in the actual WWE itself, really confusing. Mark Henry is not a World Heavyweight Champion to be proud of. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that he's finally a champion of something. We know him as the world's strongest man and everything like that. I will give him his dues for that. But after all that he's doing, taking a metal chair and then doing that into his opponent's legs, and then inducting them into his so-called Hall of Pain, that's not a champion to be proud of. And then look at Beth Phoenix. She's numerous time women's champion before it actually became the Divas Championship. She's currently in her first reign. Kelly Kelly held the title for such a good amount of time, and so I gotta give her that. Well, Beth Phoenix, well, it's okay that she's champion now, but I technically do not know if she's a champion to be proud of too, because technically every match that she's in, whenever she wins, all of a sudden her partner Natalya puts that opponent into a submission. I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm going to have to look it up. You know, while I'm at it, give me just a second here, folks. I'm going to go ahead and look it up. I'm going to go ahead and look it up here. I'm pretty sure it's on a wiki. Give me just a second to look it up here, folks. Just a second here. That submission move, while I'm waiting for this, there it is. In wrestling, I don't think that's a rear naked choke. And I personally don't think it's the sharpshooter either. I can't quite see where it's saying that. But really, whatever that submission move is, Beth Phoenix all of a sudden grabs a microphone and demands that diva who is in the submission move to cry as loud as she can. Is that a Divas champion to be proud of? I don't think so. Beth Phoenix's character, well, no wonder they're called the Divas of Doom. But really, like I said, these storylines are really starting to get really confusing. With John Laurinaitis as the interim general manager, with him firing Jim Ross, with him bringing back The Miz and R-Truth, with Beth Phoenix as the Divas champion, with Mark Henry as the World Heavyweight champion, this is really starting to get confusing. And if it still gets more confusing, there may not be a WrestleMania 28. What I think needs to happen is that WWE needs to secure more better storylines for people to understand even better. That's why I do the video game stuff, to give in storyline ideas and everything like that. But really, I don't know what's going to happen. John Laurinaitis as the interim general manager, I don't agree with it. And personally, I do not think that Triple H was liable in anything that he did as COO. Well, because, he actually made some pretty good decisions. He brought back Jim Ross. He made things fun again for the WWE. Now that John Laurinaitis is the interim general manager, we're going to get discombobulated. And really, I don't think Triple H was at fault with any of the weird conspiracies going on. Jerry Lawler actually pointed this out. He actually said that with everything going on, there is strong belief that someone is actually trying to perform something against Triple H. I have a feeling it was John Laurinaitis. It's getting a lot more confusing if you guys ask me. And if it gets more confusing, WWE is going to lose viewers. So what I suggest, and actually request to the WWE, is that they try and keep their storylines as simple as possible. Because if they keep things simple, they'll bring back the viewers. If it continues to get confusing, they're going to lose viewers. And there may not be a WrestleMania 28. This is not looking good, folks, so hopefully this video about my feelings about what's going on will try and help out the situation a little bit. In either case, guys, I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully soon we'll get to talk again. And don't worry, there will be another storyline video coming up pretty soon. And of course, that is in the video game. And let me tell you something, I enjoy doing it for you guys because it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot more creative wrestlers coming, so you better keep your eyes open for that. And there's a lot more things coming too. Hopefully you will enjoy them. But either case, guys, I thank you very much for watching. And until next time, take care, everybody.